I never sent this letter because I still don't know who it's for. Maybe for my mother, who keeps texting me photos of the garden like nothing happened. Maybe for my father, who still speaks in half sentences whenever we meet for coffee, as if saying too much might make him smaller. Or maybe it's for me, because I spent most of my life confusing usefulness with love. The $15,000 wasn't sudden. That's the part nobody would understand from the outside. People imagine dramatic phone calls and desperate begging, but it wasn't like that. My parents never asked directly for help. Pride mattered too much in our house. Instead, there were comments. We might lose the place. Banks don't care about people anymore. Your father hasn't slept in weeks. I knew what those sentences meant, so I transferred the money quietly. I told myself it was temporary, that families helped each other, that saving the house mattered more than keeping score. For a few days afterward, my mother traveled, aided me gently. My father even thanked me once, awkwardly, while staring at the television instead of me. Then something changed, not immediately, slowly. The house stopped feeling like home after that payment. My father became sharper around me, correcting small things, interrupting me at dinner, asking questions in the tone people use when they already resent the answer. My sister adapted quickest. She started calling me fragile whenever I reacted to anything honestly. If I went quiet, I was dramatic. If I defended myself, I was unstable. If I stayed in my room, I was selfish. I remember realizing one night that my financial help had embarrassed them more than it relieved them, especially my father, because once someone younger rescues the household, authority changes shape even if nobody admits it aloud. The actual fight wasn't even about money. That's what still feels strange. It started because I asked my sister not to leave dirty dishes stacked in the sink overnight since I cleaned the kitchen earlier. That was it. She rolled her eyes. My father heard the tension and immediately took her side before understanding the conversation. Then suddenly everything hidden inside the house surfaced at once. You think paying one bill makes you important? My sister snapped. I remember standing there confused more than angry. My father stood up slowly from the table. You hold money over everyone, he said. I never did that. He laughed once. Short, cold. Please. You act like this family survives because of you. I should have walked away then. Instead, I said the one thing I'd apparently never been allowed to say out loud. I saved this house. The room went silent after that. Not because it was untrue, because everybody knew it was true. My father looked at me differently after I said it, not shocked, almost exposed. Then he said it. You are not family. Even now, writing that sentence makes my chest tighten a little. Not because it was dramatic, because he sounded calm, certain. My sister leaned back in her chair like she was relieved something had finally been said. Honestly, she muttered, this burden leaving might help everyone. I remember feeling suddenly lightheaded. My hearing narrowed strangely. The edges of the room blurred. I grabbed the counter, and my sister laughed. Not hysterically, just uncomfortable laughter people use when they don't want to deal with emotion. Call 911, she said sarcastically. We don't need this burden collapsing in here. My mother told her to stop, but even then it sounded weak, delayed. Nobody came toward me. That part stayed with me longest. I went upstairs, packed a bag badly, left chargers behind, forgot half my clothes. Nobody stopped me at the door. Outside, the cold air steadied me enough to drive. For 2 weeks, nobody contacted me except my mother sending short messages pretending normal life still existed. Then the mortgage company called. Not me. Them. The emergency restructuring agreement attended. Ached to the house required continued financial verification through the cosigner account connected to my income. Without updated authorization, the protection period expired. I don't think my parents fully understood how close they actually were to losing the house. That was the first time institutions entered the story. Paperwork, deadlines, formal language that didn't care about family pride. 3 days later, they showed up at my apartment, all 3 of them. My father looked older somehow, smaller around the shoulders. My mother cried almost immediately. But what I remember most is my sister standing near the hallway refusing to meet my eyes. Finally, she said quietly, I thought you'd stay anyway. That sentence hurt worse than everything else, because she meant it honestly. They had built an entire emotional system around the belief that my loyalty had no limit. We talked for almost 2 hours. Nobody screamed. Nobody collapsed. Nobody transformed into a better person. My father apologized in fragments. You shouldn't have heard that. I was angry. I thought you wanted control. Not once did he fully explain why helping them made him hate me sometimes. Maybe he still doesn't know. I didn't move back. I helped them renegotiate the mortgage eventually, but differently this time. Boundaries, documents, distance. Now when we meet, everyone behaves carefully around me, as if one wrong sentence could make me disappear again. And maybe that's the real change. For the first time in my life, they understand I can leave.